Hi, welcome to another episode of Small Doses with Lauroselle. It's April 2021 and a lot is going on. I guess this last year and a half has seemed like there's always a lot going on, right? Well, in Minneapolis, they are in the midst of the Derek Chauvin trial, the guy who murdered George Floyd. And just this past Sunday, 10 miles away from where court is being held, another police shooting took place where an officer thought or said she thought that she was using her taser, and she actually used her firearm and shot a 20-year-old black male unarmed on a traffic stop. Apparently, he was stopped because he had some air fresheners dangling from his rearview mirror, which is illegal in that town. And then there was the tag had expired. Tags all over the country are expiring because of the pandemic. A lot of DOT offices are closed. But anyway, and also this weekend, we saw the video footage from a bad traffic stop that happened in Virginia back in December. The footage was made possible now because the victim uh, is suing the police in Virginia. Lieutenant Caron Nazario, which I have a connection with him because Caron is also my middle name. But anyway, that's the only connection. This young man is a lieutenant in the military, was in his uniform, driving his new vehicle that had temporary tags taped into the window, which is not uncommon in a lot of places. And he reduced his speed and drove to a well-lighted side of the gas station before stopping his vehicle, which I guess that angered the police. So I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about these topics and what's really going on. So first, let's talk about the oldest situation first. Well, no, the oldest situation would be the George Floyd thing, so we're saving that for last. So let's talk about what happened to Lieutenant Caron Nazario. I am so sorry that that happened to him. Driving while black is still bad in America. It just is. So I have taught my children, and my parents taught me, if you are in a dark place, a two-lane highway, and you get flagged by the police, put your hazard lights on, reduce your speed, and drive to the nearest well-lit area. Well, for my children, I added the caveat, use your cell phone and call 911 and let the 911 dispatcher know I'm driving, a police officer is behind me with the lights on, I'm afraid to stop on the dark highway, so I'm reducing my speed, I'm turning on my hazards, and I'm driving to the next well-lit place before I get out, especially for young female. Because there was a time back in, I want to say it was the 80s, where people would get police lights to put in their car, and they were abducting women and doing all kind of unsightly, horrible things. So for that reason, if you are by yourself, I don't care if you're a man, woman, boy, girl, whatever, if you're alone, do not stop in a dark area for any reason other than the fact your car just stopped and you can't do anything else. Okay. So this young man was smart because, they're yelling at him. They jump out of their cars with the weapon drawn. What is that about? Why are police officers coming out of their vehicles with their weapons drawn? What is that about? What sense does that make? Especially if it's a traffic violation. You don't see a car tag, so you feel threatened enough to pull your weapon. Oh, so you pull your weapon because this person drove to a gas station and got out, or didn't get out, but pulled to a well-lit place. And the officer was heard when the young man said, I'm afraid to get out. The officer said, you should be. What is that about? Okay. This is so tiring. It is becoming very tiring to be black in America. Yeah, I said it, and I'm black. So before I talk about Dante Wright, I want to share a little situation that happened with me a couple of years ago. Um, my husband bought me a new SUV for my 50th. And it's a big silver expedition. I'm riding, I'm doing my thing. And I lost my train of thought. My dog was moving around. Anyway, so the first time I'm driving down this little main thoroughfare in my little town I live in, and an officer pulls me over, and it's a busy kind of a little area near a mall. So instead of me stopping and blocking traffic, all these turning lanes and whatnot, I continued through the exit and I pulled into the mall parking lot near a bank. And the officer got to my window and was surprised that I was a woman. Let me clarify. I was wearing my hair in a really short, tight cut, little bitty afro. And I'm pretty sure because I'm not a small person, he thought I was a big dude. So he's just big black man driving this big SUV. I was profile. He got out of his car and he approached my window and he started apologizing. So I'm thinking to myself, why is this cop apologizing? Later on, it dawned on me. He was apologizing because he didn't mean to stop me because he didn't know I was a female. The second time it happened, I was profiled in the morning. I had just passed by an elementary school. Okay, so the dog is barking. I'm going to put the dog out. Hold on. Okay, where was I? So I just passed an elementary school. Well, I was passing an elementary school and I stopped because there was a bus letting children off. So all the traffic had stopped because you have to stop. When the traffic resumed, I kept going. I'm in the flow of the traffic. I may be like the third car in the line. There's 2 or 3 cars behind me. Well, then the other 2 cars come from behind me. We're getting in a turning lane. And so I'm the last car in the inside part of the turning lane. And here go the blue lights. Woo woo. So I said, can't be trying to get me. What in the world? So I'm slowing. And sure enough, it was me. He was flagging. So I stopped. He comes to the window. He looks shocked. And he says, you know why I stopped you? I said, no, I don't know why you stopped me. Well, he told me I had just passed a school bus. To which I said, well, officer, I don't think I stopped. I don't think I passed a school bus. I just stopped for a school bus. I said, what school bus did I just pass? And he just randomly pointed to some bus that was turning a corner. I have been back to that site so many times because there was not even a bus stop in that area. But anyway, that stop cost me $1,000. I was racially profiled because, like I said, I'm a big black woman and I was wearing a really short haircut. And he thought that I was a black male driving a nice SUV. And I don't think I had a right to do that if I was a black male. That's just my opinion. So now let's go back to Dante Wright. Tragic. A 26-year veteran pulls her gun instead of her taser as she is yelling, taser, taser, taser. And you clearly see on her own body camera that she is holding a pistol. So first of all, if you're too dumb to know the difference in a pistol and a taser, you don't need to be a police officer. You don't even need to be a school crossing guard. That's just my opinion. But here's my other thought. Why are there 4 police officers at a routine traffic stop? I did not understand that. If you stop this person because they're dangling air fresheners, then you later determine that the car tag has expired. Now you discover he has warrants. I still don't understand the need for 4 officers. Now, I'm not a policeman and I don't play one on TV, but I've seen a lot of stops. I have never seen an officer handcuff a suspect or perpetrator or whomever while the driver's side door is open. That just, who trained these people? But for this woman to yell taser, 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 and then discharge her firearm The other problem with that was there was a fellow officer standing by the open door that the young man had jumped back in the car. She could have hit the other policeman. I don't know. There's just a lot going on. Being Black in America is becoming very difficult, becoming very challenging. So feel free to put your comments in the comment section and let me know what you think. Back to the George Floyd trial. Now, a lot of people, I'm seeing people posting, people are getting very excited because the prosecution is doing a really good job. They really are. They have laid a case so tight that it's almost no room for appeal if this guy is convicted of one of those 3 charges that he has. But here's the deal. The defense only has to create reasonable doubt. That's it. The prosecution can lay out all of this wonderful testimony, prove a lot of different things, but all they need is for one person to doubt any of it with this craziness that the defense attorney is presenting. The makeup of the jury is scary to me. There are 6 white females on this jury. And I know this might offend some people that I say it. If it doesn't apply to you, don't take it personal. And if it does, a hit dog will holler. But in this country, the demise of Black men has often come at the voices of white women. Emmett Till, the burning down of Tulsa, the Scottsboro Boys, there's countless others. Those 3 just come to my mind. So I'm really afraid about the jury and how they find based on the evidence presented, because all they need is reasonable doubt. I'm also concerned that if this man is not convicted, it's going to be a really bad time in the state of Minnesota, in the city of Minneapolis, all around the surrounding areas, even some other cities and states. Things are not going to be pretty. I'm not going to share my opinion about that one way or the other because it's not your business how I feel about that. I shared it back in the summer. I've shared an opinion back in the summer, but I think my opinion might be a little different than where I was in the summer. So, what are your thoughts about these police stops? What are your thoughts about, these unarmed Black men being shot, being harassed by police? I didn't even mention in the Lieutenant Caron situation, they sprayed the man in the face with pepper spray in his car and was still yelling for him to get out. And he was still afraid to get out, and I don't blame him. In the situation I explained about my personal stops, the only thing that I'm happy about with those is that it was not my husband or my son driving my car those days. Because only God knows how that would have turned out had it actually been a man driving the car. Y'all be safe out there. Drive to a well-lit place. Use your cell phone. Call 911 and say, I am being pulled over by a policeman. The light is on. I'm afraid to stop. I'm by myself. I am driving really slowly. I'm going to go to the nearest well-lit area. And if you can get the dispatcher to stay on the line with you, do that. They can let the police know that you know that they're trying to stop you and that you're trying to get to the next safe place. Be safe. We can't take much more heartbreak here in America as Black people. Turn off the TV sometimes, disconnect, find a way to preserve your peace. And y'all be blessed. Tune in again with Small Doses with Lauroselle. We've got some other interesting topics we're going to cover this year. But unfortunately, the unfortunate things keep coming up as topics to discuss. This has been another episode of Small Doses with Lauroselle. Bye.